In April 2001, only a matter of weeks before the launch of the much anticipated Game Boy Advance, THQ released a Game Boy Color title based on the Alien franchise, Aliens: Thanatos Encounter. The game was developed by Croydon-based Crawfish Interactive, who at this point were well versed with the Game Boy Color. Over previous years, the developer had worked on a multitude of ambitious ports and licensed titles for the system to varying degrees of success. This would be one of their last games for the 8-bit handheld, before permanently moving on to the 32-bit GBA. In Aliens: Thanatos Encounter, we follow the story of a Marine platoon who are returning to Earth after a deep space training mission. Whilst deep in hypersleep, Mother, the ship's AI computer, receives a distress beacon from a mysterious freighter known as the Thanatos. Mother is instructed by the Marine HQ to set a course for the cargo ship, and send in the unlucky Marines to investigate. After waking, they dock the ship and board the Thanatos, and to no one's surprise, they discover it teeming with life signs. The game essentially plays as a top-down shooter that takes place over 15 missions in which you, as one of the Marines, explore the large industrial environments of the Thanatos. A mission briefing will tell you the conditions you must meet before completing each level, and these typically involve rescuing survivors, finding keycards, and of course dispatching xenomorphs. In fact, the latter one you'll be doing a hell of a lot of. The fact that the game is called Aliens and not Alien gives you an idea of the kind of vibe they were going for, and they certainly don't hold back. Various types of the phallic monstrosities are swarming the ship, and upon seeing you they will dart around erratically and unpredictably in order to take you down. Thankfully, the Marines are well equipped for such eventualities, and although they start out with only a handgun and a motion tracker, they'll soon be picking up and using the entire arsenal of the weapons seen in the Alien films. Shotguns, pulse rifles, grenade launchers and flamethrowers are all here, and by virtue of the game having the A and B buttons assigned to each of the Marines' hands, you can actually equip and fire 2 different weapons simultaneously. Yep, you can dual wield pulse rifles. The game even has the odd power loader to stomp around in just to make you feel that bit more badass. Unfortunately, you aren't able to batter the Xenos with the loader's arms like Ripley, but instead it effectively gives you a second health bar at the expense of a bit of speed. At the start of each mission you are given the choice of controlling one of 5 Marines, each with their own stats which determine their speed and stamina in the game. I personally find speed to be king here, as a dexterous thumb on the D-pad and a quick Marine can avoid any damage at all in most close encounters. The game has a neat control scheme which allows you to switch between 3 different modes on the fly by pressing the select button. The first is free mode, which allows you to move and shoot freely. The second is strafe, which locks your firing angle whilst allowing you to move in all directions. And the last is locked, which fixes you in place and allows you to fire in all directions. Although I only tend to use strafe, I still appreciate that the developers found a way to get so much out of the Game Boy Color's basic button layout. At times you'll feel like you're playing a classic first-person shooter as you strafe and shoot your way through the often maze-like rooms and corridors of the Thanatos. It's only really the perspective that separates the game from something like Doom. However, not being able to see too far ahead definitely does force you to play with a more cautious approach. Inching forward into unexplored territory is definitely recommended, as a more gung-ho approach will have you writhing in the steely claws of an alien quicker than you can say, indepth! When your Marine is taken down by a xenomorph, you will be taken back to the character select screen, and your newly selected Marine will be given 200 seconds to find and rescue their captured comrade. The terrified and injured Marine will have been taken to a nearby nest ready for impregnating, but as long as you get to them in time and manage to fend off the xenomorph guards, they'll be good to fight another day. It's a really nice idea that falls a little short in execution, as the path previously cleared by the downed Marine will now be once infested again, making it a tall order to reach them in time. Still, I love the idea. By now you will have seen for yourself how impressive this game looks for a Game Boy Color title. The levels are superbly detailed, with grating, yellow hazard markings, containers and pipes, all of which provide the perfect backdrop to a game in the Alien universe. The aliens themselves look great, and I really like seeing all the different kinds depicted. Everything's here from chest bursters, face huggers, runners and drones. There's even a new larger type that doesn't seem to come from any canon I'm aware of. The music is tolerable and sets the mood well, but it's definitely not something you're going to be seeking out after you finish playing. The sound effects are definitely the weakest area of the game, with the guns in particular sounding, well, completely pathetic to be honest. The incinerator isn't too bad, but what a difference a decent pulse rifle and shotgun sound effect would have made. Don't even get me started on the smart gun. It's somewhat forgivable considering the limitations of the hardware, but it definitely does bring down the quality and enjoyment of the game. Overall though, Alien's Thanatos encounter is a decent, in fact almost excellent addition to the Game Boy Color's library. It may have its flaws, but fans of the Alien franchise should definitely give this one a chance. It captures the spirit of James Cameron's unforgettable sequel. If nothing else, it lets you toast xenomorphs with a flamethrower from the comfort of a power loader. So, if you like what you've heard, why not seek out a copy of Alien's Thanatos Encounter and jump on the express elevator to hell, going down.